Hello everyone, welcome back to the 9th round of the Combe Karting Championship. Here we're going out for heat number 1. I'm currently sitting in 16th place in the standings. My aim at the start of the year was 15th, and I'm currently 1 point off that at the moment. Let's see what we can do with 2 rounds to go. But out here for heat number 1, get a good start, starting from 2nd place, looking to go around the outside of the pole sitter, and unfortunately get a bit of a slide on and have to sort of settle in for 2nd place, but I want to try and get that position. I want to be as high up on the grid for the final as possible, and I'm going round the outside now, look to get the cut back. Unfortunately don't get the drive out that I need, and the leader manages to hold that 1st place. So settling in now, let's see what sort of pressure we can put on. Maybe make a mistake for the leader, but we'll just see what happens. Now coming through the first couple corners, I don't have any pressure from behind at the moment, so I'm able to just focus on the driver ahead. He was able to pull a bit of a margin there, then coming into the top hairpin, get a bit of a slide, and unfortunately that's going to be the race over. I'm not able to close that gap in. In fact, the leader pulled a bit of a margin through the rest of the race, so we're having to settle for 2nd place there, unfortunately. But it's always a good start to the day if you can get those top results. So now I've got my pole position start. Let's see what we can do with this. I make an okay start, and in fact the driver in 2nd makes a great start. I look to go up the inside, but then he's still able to hang it around the outside. We're going side by side through the chicane, and he just about pulls a margin ahead. That's really unfortunate that I'm not able to utilise my pole position, and I'm forced to settle in for 2nd place. I'm even going defensive as well. Fortunately I'm able to hang on to that 2nd place, but then on the next lap, once again, same mistake that I made on the previous race, and the leader is gone at this point. Even managed to set the fastest lap of the day at this point during the day. And so that's another 2nd place. Bit disappointed with that one though. But heat number 3, starting in 4th place, I need to be getting some good results through the rest of the heats, and I'm going to be starting near the back for both of them. So get a decent start, look to get the cut back on everyone, but it doesn't really work out. See the driver ahead going for that position, and I decide that I can follow through as well, which I'm very pleased with. And so going up to the top hairpin now, that I'm just wanting to stay with the leaders. He's got Ben ahead. I know he's going to be quicker than the leader, and he keeps challenging, and I just want to follow through whenever he goes through. But putting pressure on him as well, which means he's not really able to go for the moves he wants to normally. But yeah, get a good run up the hill now halfway through the race. Once again trying to get the cut back, get a decent drive out, but unfortunately it's not quite enough. Make a bit of contact, but fortunately we all stay pointing in the right direction. And I'm still in 3rd place. Only 2 more laps to go now. This is going to be really close all the way to the end. You see the leader not quite utilising all of the road and making some little mistakes. And I've only got a bit of pressure, but you see the driver ahead goes to the move. I also go for a move. Putting my thumbs up, I'm just asking, is that alright? Then we make a bit of contact as well. And I'm saying I don't want any of that. I'm holding on to that position. But now I've got everyone right on my tail. I'm going a bit defensive into the 1st corner just to prevent anyone from going up my inside. And it means I don't get a great drive up the hill. I'm going to look back and look who's right there. Everyone else is right there. That's what it is. So I go really defensive. And then I take a really tight line coming off the corner. But then, yeah, I get quite a bit of contact coming off the corner, which I'm not happy about. But I'm able to just get the drive out the corner and take the victory, which I'm very pleased with. That has turned what could be a really terrible day right back around now. Means I'm going to be starting in 3rd place for this last heat. Let's see what we can do. See the driver starting on the outside gets a good start and tries to go right around the outside, but there's a lot of contact between everyone. And so I settle into 3rd place. We just about get in line. But I'm now getting a good drive up the hill. Let's see what we can do. Can't really go for an overtake there. But everyone's keeping it quite clean at the moment. There's lots of little bits of contact, but nothing too major. But you can see the driver ahead, Adrian, is very much wanting to go for the move, and I'm again wanting to follow through. See, coming out of the 1st corner, I give him a little nudge, which helps him through, and also I get through as well at the exact same time. Very pleased about that. I then don't need to go defensive as the 2 drivers behind are worried about themselves, so it means I can try and stick with the leader. And here you can see now on lap 4 I've closed in. Let's see if we can get another victory. That will definitely put us up the grid for the final. But it's going to be really close now coming onto this final lap. I definitely have a bit more pace in this race, and I want to try and use it, trying to get as good a drive up the hill as possible, and I'm right on his tail now. Let's see what we can do. Lost a bit coming through the chicane, but now closing back in again, and he goes a bit defensive. Let's see if we can get the cut back. I get a good drive out, but unfortunately it's not quite enough, and that's going to be second place in the race. I can get a good drive through that last couple corners as well, but unfortunately not enough. But yeah, 3 seconds on a first is definitely going to serve me well for the final. And yeah, big thumbs up. There you go, that puts me down in 5th place, which I'm very pleased with. After that second heat when I lost my pole start, I was not expecting to get this good a result. Yeah, coming into the A final now, I've got the inside line. Let's see what we can do at the first corner and get a decent start. And yeah, our side of the grid gets a better start. Unfortunately, we're sort of squeezed in on the end side, and the driver who started alongside me actually gets ahead of me, which is quite unfortunate. And the driver who was just ahead of me as well, he slides out. And now we're up into 5th place once again. Go for the inside there, but the driver just gives me some space and then drives out the corner a bit better. But yeah, I'm feeling quite confident, seeing if we can challenge, and coming through the chicane, get a nice run out, and then just coming up to the top of the hill. My kart's just had a lot more power, it seemed, on the top speed, and yeah, I just need to try and utilise it. But yeah, making a bit of contact there. I wanted to try and get back in line, as I didn't want to leave the inside open. But yeah, it meant I kind of compromised myself quite a bit there, and I lost out. Now I'm having to worry about defending, but you can see ahead, the driver ahead, Callum, is already going defensive as well, and it's quite rightly, because as I said, my top speed in this kart was amazing. So I need to just try and utilise this advantage that I've got. It's definitely not to do with my driving style. You wouldn't get that sort of pace at the top of the straight unless it was the kart itself. I very rarely notice these sort of things, but in this race it was quite obvious. But yeah, making a bit of contact with the driver ahead by accident. Wasn't wanting to do that, and that's why my hand was up. But yeah, going super defensive into the first corner, as that compromised myself a lot. The driver behind can't get the run out, but even with that terrible run up the hill, I'm still able to close in. And I don't particularly want the driver ahead to go defensive. I want to try and pull clear of the drivers behind. But unfortunately he's just sort of backing me into them. I wouldn't say intentionally, but it's working well for him, as I can't fully go for an attack. But on this lap I've got a good drive out, and I'm right on his tail. I know I'm going to carry a lot more speed through the chicane, and so I go to the outside, see what we can do there. I hang it on around the outside, and then I want to try and get to the inside now, which I do, but then I don't really want to go for that move, but unfortunately I make contact, so I let the driver through, but then the driver behind gets through, and I am not happy at all. I thought I was pushed out a bit there, and I know I've gained positions like that in the past when someone's failed an overtake, but I felt like I was pushed out, and unfortunately, even with my kart advantage, I'm now not able to use that, and I can't close in at all. So yeah, that's a really disappointed 6th place finish. I was very disappointed after that result. Should have been 4th place really, and potentially even 3rd if I'd have got by. So 6th place finish, that puts me 15th place in the points, tied with 16th, and only 2 points off 13th. This is going to be really close going into the final round. See you there. And we're back. Going out now for round number 10. Already had practice, and straight into heat number 1. It's very slippery out there, and as I said, this is a fight for the championship positions. The top 30 have all been invited to this round, so everyone is here on pace through this year. It's going to be tough for every single position. As I said, it's really slippery and very cold, so there's not a lot of grip. And I get a decent start in this first race, look to get the cut back, which doesn't quite work unfortunately. But yeah, just settling in now, seeing how many positions we can make, and get a cut back and a cut back again, and a good drive up the hill, which I'm very pleased with. I'm able to brake a bit later than the driver alongside and get a good drive out, which I'm very pleased with. And then the driver ahead looks for some grip on the outside, but I just sink it up the inside because there was enough grip there for that position. But yeah, I'm very pleased with that. Already gone from 5th to 3rd. I remember this time last year I struggled a lot in these kind of conditions, but this year I just have a lot more confidence. And look at that, going into 2nd place now. Unfortunately the driver does get a good cut back on me, as you are able to do that more in these conditions. But you can see now coming up to the top, I get a good drive up the hill. I'm right on his tail. You want to be careful about not making contact or not forcing people out. We're coming out side by side now. This is really close. And I'm looking for the inside, but then he cuts across at the very last moment. And it's the smallest of nudges, but it does push him wide. And you can see there, the penalty board gives the position back, being thrown out straight away. And I'm trying to, but yeah, looking behind, I can see he's just lost a position.
Oh, come on!
But yeah, he's now managed to get that position back.
Trying to.
I'm just telling him, yeah, go. I want you to go ahead so I can then overtake you again. And you can see at the very next corner, he goes very wide. And yeah, I am not waiting for that one either. And make a bit of contact with the barrier, but that actually helped me to stop. And then after what was actually quite a messy final lap, I managed to hold on to that 2nd place. Very pleased. The leader was long gone, but going from 5th to 2nd is great. Now we have our 2nd place start, which I prefer to start in 2nd in these sort of conditions. Unfortunately, I don't get a good drive out at the start. I hold on to that 2nd place, driver up my inside, gives me some space. It's all fair there. And then run a bit wide and not able to get amazing drive up the hill, unfortunately. I know I was sort of struggling a bit in the start of the day there, but then coming up to the top hairpin, I hit a bit wide, which I wasn't particularly happy about. I'm looking to go back for the position, but again, that inside line is where the grip was, or at least enough of the grip was there that you can just sort of hang on to the position. Yeah, just sort of showing my displeasure, I guess, at that little move by sinking my nose up the inside a bit. Maybe not the most sensible of moves, but I wanted to try and get that position back. But you can see now the leaders taking some slightly wider lines, but I was taking some good lines as well. Everyone was quicker in different places, which was quite nice to have at racing. But yeah, you see Seb just runs wide there. I'm able to now close right on his tail, try to get the cut back, but it just doesn't really work at all. And yeah, I just want to try and stick with these two, but unfortunately I just drift maybe 10 or 20 centimeters wide and then immediately lose all that position. Yeah, the top two are now battling quite a lot, bit of nose to tail contact, and I'm back with them again. Once again, just giving a little nudge just to let him know that I am there and I will be taking the position if he makes a mistake. Goes up the inside though, and that is very close between the top two, but no contact there. Then coming into the chicane, I'm just trying to get as good a drive out as I can and maybe see if I can get in a position. Unfortunately, again, I ran a bit wide, so I'm not able to close in as much as I wanted to. And then the leader gets overtaken up the inside in a very similar move to me. We're now both full throttle. Now on the brakes, I somehow managed to not hit the back of Seb there. I don't know how. And then coming through the final few corners, just trying to be as steady as possible while holding onto that position. That is another 2nd place. Very pleased with that after a very tense race. But yeah, now my pole position start. It's always tricky starting on the inside as there isn't a lot of grip there. So let's just see what we can do. So I go up and I run wide, deliberately trying to find some grip, but it's just not enough. And unfortunately I get the cut back by one of the drivers, which is really annoying. I try and go for now the grippy part of the track and cut across, but unfortunately I just lose a lot of time there. And now I've got drivers up my inside. The grip's on the outside, so I try and go there, but then a couple of drivers have gone up the inside and they're just blocking the track for me, unfortunately. And it means I've gone from first to last in half a lap, and that was really annoying. Unfortunately, it was just my poor driving at that point that's sort of put me in those bad positions. But now at the end of lap 1, I'm starting to realise, hang on a sec, the kart is now not as good as the other ones I've been racing today. It very much had a brake like a light switch, I was saying, in that it's either on or off, and that's not what you need in these conditions. You can see now in lap 4, just I don't even know how this happened. Yeah, so losing 4 positions, all the positions at the start was my fault, but then not being able to claim them back was, yeah, down to the kart, I think. So yeah, not happy about that. Both my driving and the kart's brakes as well. But you got to just take what you're given, and I didn't maximise it, unfortunately. But yeah, now final heat, starting in 4th place. I know I need a good result to put me somewhere up in the B final. But yeah, let's see what we can do. And yeah, everyone just diving up the inside, which I was maybe not best pleased with, but now I'm diving up the inside. It's very grippy on the inside there, so I brake very late, and then the 2 drivers just squeeze me out into the wall, and there's a lot of contact. I am not happy about that at all. It's fair enough from Ben to sort of come across because there was some space in front of him, but then the driver between us was just not giving me the space. Unfortunately, I make a bit of a mistake on that corner as well, but then you can see by the end of the race I've closed back in on the 2 ahead of me. I think I lost about 6 seconds in that spin, and I am not 6 seconds behind either of the drivers ahead. So I definitely had the pace for 3rd place. Maybe if I was up there it could have been something higher as well, and I am just not happy at all. That is 2 2nd places and now 2 5th places. That is not the results you need. Here you can see now, once again going through it now in slow motion. So you see Ben, he sees there's a gap there, but the driver between us, there's just not a gap there, and so that's some contact. And then unfortunately he is then hit into me by the driver on the inside. So the second contact I wouldn't say is his fault, but the first contact was, which put me into that spin. So I'm down now in 17th place, means pole position for the C final. Not exactly what I want, but let's just see what we can do now. Unfortunately I don't get a great start, and I'm not too keen about holding this inside line as we saw in the earlier heat. I decided to drift a bit wider deliberately rather than understeering so much, and it actually works out. I hang on to that 1st place. Everyone's used to the conditions now, so everyone's keeping it nice and clean behind, so I don't have to worry about contact. Yeah, I've got a nice margin. There's now 6 laps in these finals, and that's what I just need to hold on for that many laps. The top 2 are going to progress to the B final, and yeah, that's just hopefully we can make our way there as well. Taking some good lines. I'm able to just take the lines I want, but I have got a driver right behind him, or right behind me even. I'm saying let's just go, but maybe that's a bit optimistic in these kind of conditions. And unfortunately now, mistakes are just starting to creep in, just running a little bit wide, not taking quite the correct lines, and it means the driver ahead goes to the move, gets half a spin though, and then I make contact, and unfortunately I just spun, or half spun Barry round, and I'm just like, I do not want to get a penalty for this. Fortunately he was able to keep going, and there was still umming and ahhing if I should get a penalty for that or not. It was very unfortunate. If I hadn't made contact he wouldn't have spun, but it was also half spun and stopped in front of me as well, and it was yeah, a bit questionable. But yeah, again, some more little mistakes here, just running a bit wide, hitting the barrier, and then running wide again here. And I know I've got a driver right at my tail, I'm not sure who it is, but then I look up the inside and just trying to give some space on the inside there, taking some different lines, and it doesn't really work unfortunately, lose a lot of time. But yeah, Barry's got back through, so we don't have to worry about being given a penalty now. But yeah, we still need to hold on to this 2nd place, as there's some very quick drivers, but fortunately I'm able to, and that means we're going to be booking our slot in the B final.
Oh, mate. Sorry, you sort of got a bit sideways and I just hit into you, and I'm like, no, don't spin! Don't spin!
So yeah, now into the B final. This is going to be our last race of the year. Unfortunately I don't work any miracles to get up into the top 2, but let's see where we can get, because crucially that could be a determining factor in whether we get a top 15 result or not. Everyone running wide at the first corner and a couple of spins, so that cutback works brilliantly, and I'm already up 2 positions. Now just trying to get as good a drive up the hill as possible, and I do keep a good line. I'm able to keep it on the grippy part of the track, and see, looking up the inside, and then suddenly you got Paynton going wide, and I just have to go for the inside, which is not where I want to be. I was fully expecting to be overtaken around the outside, but it actually works out quite well, and I hang on to that position I just gained. Again, some good lines through the next couple of corners, but everyone is just nose to tail. Everyone just sort of sliding and trying to find grip where they can. But a lot of people running wide as well, and you're just trying to take advantage where possible. But yeah, it's really tough in these conditions, as you might not always be able to take the lines you want with everyone around. Here you can see I got up the inside. Unfortunately, he's able to just get back through. And then he's going for another half spin. I make a bit of contact. Fortunately, it doesn't turn him around. But there you can see now the next lap. And I just dive up the inside brake super late. And I'm fully expecting Barry to come back through, but instead actually, I've got that position there. Very pleased with that. And I know we're both quicker than this driver ahead, but it is quite tough to pass. It's definitely easier to pass in the wet than the dry, but it's not easy either. There's sometimes, like, normally you just want to be up the inside, but it doesn't always work out. Yeah, I get a good drive out, fortunately helped by a little bit of contact from behind, and I just decide, yeah, that overtake that was done on me in the first few heats, I'm going to do that back. So yeah, make a bit of contact, but fortunately able to hold that position. And yeah, then take the inside line for the next corner. And that is 5th place, which I'm very happy about. Run a bit wide, unfortunately, immediately, so almost lose that position. I'm just able to hang on to it. So yeah, just coming up to the final lap now, I get a good line through here, but then just brake a metre or two too late. Probably not even that. And just slide wide and lose those 2 positions that I worked so hard to get. And that is really annoying that I've worked so hard the whole race and it's just come undone right at the end. I'd taken a slightly different line and hadn't braked through the whole section of that. So when I did get on the brakes just locked up and I just ran wide. It's really annoying. Unfortunately, I'm not getting a good drive up this hill and I'm just not able to do anything. 2 drivers ahead, they're making a bit of contact, but then I get hit as well, which I'm not happy about, as you can see. So I just decide I'm basically not going to brake into the corner, instead using the barrier as my brake. But yeah, that comes to the checkered flag, running a bit wide, but still holding on to that 7th place. And that was some good battling. Bit unfortunate how it ended, losing that position near the end. A very enjoyable experience. Unfortunately, in the standings, it did mean I dropped down to 16th place. That slide wide right at the end cost me 2 points and 2 positions in the championship. So I would have been in 14th had I held on to it. That is a tough pill to swallow at the end of a really good year of racing. I know I'm going to come back stronger next year. Maybe we can even aim for top 10. Thank you very much to all the marshals and organisers and all the competitors as well through the whole year. It's been a massive amount of fun and I can't wait to be back out next season. Thank you very much.